Okay, let's get to our panel. Joining me now from Doha is Mahjoub Zwairi. He is Associate Professor in Contemporary History of the Middle East at Qatar University. With me here in the studio is Ahmed Al-Ibrahim. He is a political analyst and also works on Saudi-US relations. Joining us from Tampa, Florida is Mohsen Milani. He is the Executive Director of the Center for Strategic and Diplomatic Studies and Professor of Politics at the University of South Florida. Also joining us here in the studio is Joyce Karam. She is the Washington correspondent for Al Hayat newspaper. Welcome to all of you to the show. Ahmed, let me start off with you. So we have a number of countries, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Bahrain, Egypt, continuing to put pressure on Qatar with this list of demands. And among those demands is that Qatar cuts off ties with terrorist organizations, shuts down the Al Jazeera television network, and scales back ties with Iran. For the record, Qatar has denied these charges that have been made against it, and Qatar is saying that what it's being asked to do is basically to surrender its sovereignty. Why is Saudi Arabia and the other countries pursuing this?
Because we would like to eliminate terrorism from the face of the earth. You know, when President Trump actually came to Saudi Arabia and they saw the level of depth that Saudi Arabia is taking in fighting and combating terrorism, and that goes back to King Abdullah time when he donated almost $110 million to the United Nations so they could find a center of intelligence where they could actually, you know, interact and share information. This is all the seriousness of Saudi Arabia is trying to combat terrorism. And now with that, Saudi Arabia is taking this to action after the Trump visit to Saudi Arabia and the 50 Muslim countries that they were there. So it's about time to take the steps. We called on Qatar to come in 2013 and 14 at King Abdullah time to sign the same things that we want right now from them, and they declined, or sorry, they signed, but they've never pursued these kind of points. So Saudi Arabia has to take an action. You have to be decisive. You are either with us or against us. You're either with terrorism or you're against terrorism, and this is what America wants, and this is what the world wants. So that's why Saudi Arabia is not going to let go of these demands. Now, talking about issues like Al Jazeera channel really gave us a lot of misleading information. They've tried to, you know, apprise the Egyptian people and all that stuff. But what we needed from them before is to tune down, to say the truth. We don't want fake news in Saudi Arabia anymore, or these four countries.
All right, let me get Mahjoub's response to this. Mahjoub, what is Qatar's response to what you've just heard now? And does Qatar also feel that some of these demands are negotiable?
According to the available information, Qatari government is denying all of these requests, and they confirmed that they are cooperative with the international community in fighting terrorism. To put things in a perspective, I don't think so. The issue is about terrorism. If we look at the issue of terrorism, we should expect accusation from the United States, because this is the father of this battle, which basically started from the United States post 9/11. This is the country, I mean the United States, which introduced the terminology itself, introduced by George Bush, the son, and to the world. So basically, it's not about countries in the region. It's about the United States, how they perceive the world, and how they look at the issue of stability in the world. So they defined their battle that there is war and terror, and all the countries should be cooperative with the United States. If there is no accusation from the United States, I'm not sure that other accusation is actually can be accurate or has a credibility. And the other thing we have to put in perspective, the whole thing is about one of the ramifications of Arab Spring. We know that there is a different position taken by different countries. Qatar has different position from Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, and we saw that in Egypt, we saw that in Yemen, we saw it in Libya, we saw it in Syria. What we saw now that this is a trend. Started with the coup d'etat in Egypt in 2013, moved on to the failed coup in Turkey, and that's